don't need to give me an exact number, but how much money did you roughly make in the first 30 days of us working together on your coaching offer?
First 30 days, we did around, I think it was 70, 75K.
Okay. And how much did you do the 30 days before working with us?
Before, I think we were consistently stuck at like 35, 40-ish K.
Okay. So you pretty much just like doubled your revenue in
Mhm.
30 days of us working together. And by the way, like the biggest thing for you guys to understand is like you don't really have like hundreds of thousands of followers. Like your videos aren't getting like tens of thousands of views, hundreds of thousands of views. Like it's 3 digits to 4 digits, right? You have like 4,000 subscribers on YouTube or
Yep.
something like that. Yeah.
Mhm.
So it's like literally almost no subscribers, not crazy amount of views. You're not flashing some kind of Lamborghini or something crazy. You're just giving them value-based content. And how long have you been doing that kind of content for?
I've been doing content for probably, I think, like 4 months now consistently. I didn't really have like a good outline on like
Hmm.
extracting my viewers to convert them. So that's kind of
Hmm.
why I started working with you guys, is because you actually know how to turn micro niche channels into like actual conversions. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
100%. So with not even 4,000 subscribers, like you have like lifestyle pictures on Instagram, but like you're not posting reels or anything, and
Mhm.
you're still hitting almost $100,000 per month. So that's like absolutely insane. And
Yeah.
this just goes to show that like you really don't need that big of an audience to do big amounts of info with the way where the info space is at right now. So why don't you just start by giving like a little bit of like an intro of like who you are, the offer that you sell, like how long you've been doing this for, and just like
Yeah.
60 to 120 seconds of kind of like context.
Yeah, for sure. So I started being a high ticket sales rep last year. I think it was like 13 months ago. I started as an appointment setter, and then I quickly
Hmm.
moved to closer. And then after I started being a closer for like 4 to 6 months, I started to hit like 20K a month, 30K a month in pure commissions. So I had a lot of people reach out to me saying like, how did you move so quickly? How did you end up hitting these
Hmm.
30, $35,000 months in commissions so quick? So I basically kind of started coaching them up. I started training them and stuff like that. But I realized that the biggest thing in getting those commission checks isn't the training, it's the offer you're on. It's like the actual
Hmm.
vehicle, the creator you're doing. So we basically partnered up with a bunch of influencers and started helping people get onto those offers. And so
Hmm.
I know that we've helped so many people. We just needed help actually bringing in leads so we can help them get on better offers.
Hmm.
So I started
Yeah.
posting content, started doing lifestyle stuff, but I realized lifestyle stuff doesn't convert as well as actual like informational stuff. So
Hmm.
I just needed someone to help me with my micro channel, and it worked super well.
100%. And obviously, like you were mentioning before, like your offer was really good from the start. The
Mhm,
stuff that you were selling worked. You were getting results left and right,
mhm.
but you were still kind of stuck at 30 to 40K per month for the longest time. So like, what would you say like the biggest challenge was for you breaking out of the 30 to 40K a month range?
I think I just needed like systems that worked every time. Like as far as like I needed
Hmm.
consistent SMS, I needed consistent emails. I obviously was too busy making content, so I needed someone that already
Hmm.
knew how to do that to dial it in. Plus
Hmm.
consistent content. Like at the end of the day, you can dial in everything, but if you don't have consistent organic content coming in, it's basically for
Hmm.
nothing. So that's kind of why I started working with y'all. I saw the small amount of YouTube channels that you guys were working with that were making close to six
Hmm.
figures a month, so it only made sense.
Yeah, 100%. But at the same time, like before you even worked with us, you were also kind of doing YouTube videos. Like you had obviously
Yep.
the lifestyle stuff. You transitioned away from that like a few months before that. You moved, more into like the educational style of content. But we still ended up changing the way that you did that when we started working with each
Mhm.
other. So what do you think like the biggest change was that we made to the content itself?
I think the biggest change was stop guessing what was going to work and literally just look at
Hmm.
competitors in a similar niche and just
Hmm.
copy, not copy their content, but just kind of use their certain ideas and trends and stuff like that to get more views. You know what I mean? Rather than just like, I hope this video works.
Hmm.
So I
Yeah,
think that that's kind of what you guys
100%.
are good at. You guys are good at like looking at the competitors, see people in a similar niche with a similar ICP and replicating their videos to make sure you get views, you know?
Yeah, 100%. And also, it's all good and all to get these YouTube videos to get them a bunch of not even views, but to get like a bunch of high quality views. When we're speaking
Mhm.
1 to 3,000 people, that already is a large amount when it comes to converting that. That can be 20 to 30,000 dollars. But obviously, your back end needs to be extremely dialed to. And I know before that, you were kind of just running. It was kind of like a website landing page, kind of just like a
Yeah.
service landing page. And we kind of transitioned that into more of a sales funnel, which was an opt-in to VSL to free call flow. So can you kind of just
Mhm.
touch more about that how the sales funnel worked and how we changed the way that the sales team works.
Right, 100%. I think I kind of knew the vision I wanted with it. I just didn't know how to actually do it. So yeah, I think the biggest thing was making that funnel so that they could see the testimonials right on the first page. Their frequently asked questions were answered right when they opted in. And there was a VSL kind of going through everything for beginners, so they didn't have questions by the time they booked the call. So I think, yeah, definitely all that in combination with just having better content definitely helped us like double that revenue quickly.
Yeah, 100%. And I think the biggest thing that we did do with the sales page that worked extremely well is obviously we had the opt-in and we were just able to dial all of the leads straight away. And I think that made a really big difference
Yeah.
in terms of the numbers that we made, just like straight away, because you didn't have
Yep.
an opt-in to do before
Right. I
that.
didn't have an opt-in. I wasn't collecting their phone numbers, emails right off the bat. So having that immediately for setters to call gave us like 50 times the leads. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like setters calling them, sending out emails, sending out different SMS plus, all that kind of good stuff. So obviously, like there's a bunch of people on YouTube, you know, they're helping you optimize their content. They're helping you optimize your sales page or your sales teams, your backend, all of these different things in order to essentially scale your info offer. And you're also in the high ticket sales space. So like you especially know this. What made you specifically want to work with me and my team specifically?
I think it was because I know obviously you're on the younger side, so a lot of people are like thrown off by that. But I think it's the people that are obsessed with like actually doing the work, going in the trenches, finding what content works, seeing why it works. Those are the type of people I want to work with rather than just like some YouTube agency that's like chat GPTing everything. Because I've worked with some people like that in the past. Definitely not as effective as someone that actually like manually goes onto YouTube, finds videos that are working, ideates them, creates scripts. That's the type of stuff that I was looking for. And I knew that you guys we're pretty much doing that work right off after the first couple of videos we filmed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. Because like setting up the funnel, setting up the sales team, setting up the backend infrastructure, like that stuff is like completely essential. But you know, you set that up once, and after that, like there's nothing really to do there. After that, it's just a game of actually getting people to go through that sales page and getting eyeballs onto your content. Because you know, you can have the best funnel in the world, but you know, without you know people going into the funnel, like how are people going to buy it?
There's
They
no
don't even know
point.
it exists.
I think about see what he would do and his team. They would constantly send me ideas like, "Hey, this guy's a similar niche than you, similar age than you. Try to do this video, try to do this thumbnail, try this title." And those sort of like creatives is definitely what scaled us pretty quickly. Like I think we were at 2.5K subscribers, and by the end of it, we were at like 3.5K in like 60 days, I think, which isn't a ton, but that converts a lot.
Yeah, like you know, obviously converted to an extra $80,000.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. I think people think you need 20K, 30K, 50K subscribers, which obviously that helps, but you can convert 1,000 views really, really well if you do it like intentionally, you know?
Yeah, 100%. Like when you're targeting the ICP specifically,
Exactly.
and then obviously for you personally, like you know, you went from 30 to 40 to 70 to 80K a month in literally just 30 days. Like, what would you say the biggest difference for you specifically was? Like maybe your day to day. Did it make you a little bit more comfortable in your situation? Like, how was it like
Yeah.
dealing with all the new clients coming in, and
I think
etc.
I was super stressed out before because I knew that we had 30 to 40K a month consistently, but we weren't doing emails. We weren't, our systems were ass. Everything was not dialed. So it was just super stressful knowing that I had money on the table. So just kind of having that feeling of like we finally did everything we possibly could and are still doing that the right way is like more refreshing than anything, you know? Like the money's cool, obviously, but just knowing that we are collecting every single lead we possibly can the right way is the only thing I need, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. And when you were just like initially trying to scale the coaching offer, what were the biggest bottlenecks that you saw in general? Obviously, we spoke about sales team, we spoke about content, we spoke about all these different things, but there's smaller things that kind of go in between the cracks that make a really big difference. Like for example, for us, you know, one thing off the top of my head was the dialing. Like that probably doubled the revenue, right?
Right.
So what would you say like the biggest thing was there?
I would say probably having frequently asked questions that they can consistently read, like all the clients that come in that are confused about high ticket sales or the process or whatever it is, having those questions answered for them right on the VSL page or wherever it is, I think that converts a lot more. Also, like you said, having the dialers call every single person that opts in for the free lead magnet doubled the revenue. Like I think that that was the main driver, is just having dialers constantly dial the people that even might not have technically all the money up front, you know?
And then obviously like there's a lot of people in kind of like a similar situation to you. They might be a coach with maybe like a few thousand followers, and they're just struggling with a really inconsistent lead flow, or they don't have an audience at all. But in a few months' time, they can kind of build themselves up to the point where you're at right now, or just in general, they might have somewhat of an audience, but they want to niche it down into kind of like a more micro niched way. I'd
Yep.
say they have the capital to invest into themselves. They have the time to invest into it. What would you tell them would be like the biggest piece of feedback that you could give them when kind of
Mhm.
starting something like this and building a little bit of like a micro niched ecosystem?
Yeah, I would say find someone that's actually going to care about your offer that doesn't have 50,000 clients that are doing 500K a month. Work with people that actually want to help you grow. You know what I mean? Like if you are the smallest client of an agency, like a YouTube agency or something, they're not going to take you as serious than like an individual who actually wants to like work with you. So I would
Mhm.
say just find someone like Alexi's team that actually does the ideation, does the content manually, and there's no possible way you won't grow. If you're looking at competitors, you're replicating what they do, there's no way that's not going to bring in more lead flow.
Yeah,
Especially if you're in a similar
100%.
niche than me, similar kind of area as me, it just makes sense.
Yeah, just like anything to do with like giving different business opportunities out right now, like e-commerce, drop
Yep.
shipping, affiliate marketing, like this whole entire info space. It doesn't even need to be that. Like it's just absolutely booming right now. And it's so easy to make money when you're just targeting the right people specifically because people are searching
Also,
up like,
sorry, go
yeah,
ahead.
yeah, I was just saying like people are searching up how to start this, how to start that every single day. And you obviously have that inside of your content too. A lot of your old content even started to get a lot more reviews later on
Yep,
in the process just because people were searching it up, right? So that's
100%.
like the biggest thing.
And I think a huge advantage that people are talking about, me and you were talking about this earlier, is like having that super highly edited content that isn't super genuine as like a small creator. I think that's the
Hmm.
worst possible way to do it. If you have a low amount of subscribers or followers, you have to use that to
Hmm.
your advantage, right? Because that means that what you're doing isn't like super oversaturated, right? A lot of the reason I get sales is because people see me as like a smaller creator, right? Like I'm not too oversaturated, I'm not too guru-y, because I have enough time to actually help them. So if you are a small creator and don't have that many subscribers, now is the time to actually ideate your content the right way, because the more you get, the bigger you get, and the more guru you get, the less people have trust in you, you know?
Hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. Well, Kobe, you crushed it. Obviously, we doubled your revenue. I don't want to take full credit for it. Obviously, you did a lot of your end too. You were posting the content. So really congratulations on that.